JW, he had some sort of operation. I told him he looked like he'd been fighting fire somewhere.
I feel like mine's on sometime to hear all this chit chat all the time. It ain't got much left over.
I know. How's the light, brother?
It's not bad, actually. All right, can you give us a little introduction? Tell us what we're doing here today.
Peace. What'd you say?
I said, tell us what we're doing here today.
We are having a roundtable discussion with 7 of the oldest Greensboro firefighters, retired Greensboro firefighters.
Okay. Why is this important that we have this discussion? Well,
it's a chance for us to hear the legacy and heritage of the firefighters and how they share their stories from every call they've rode, station life, family life. We're going to cover a number of topics today. I'll go over in a few minutes as I've got my notes to look at, but that's mainly what we're going to do. And these guys have give a lot of their life to the fire department. A lot of them were born in the, actually all of them were born in the 30s. And they're a part of the silent generation, they call them. They're more reserved, goal-oriented, laid back. Their parents were in the Great Depression, so maybe that's what made them like that. But a good group of guys and wanted to get together. We've got 2 in the group, was in the first 1956 class, official class of the Greensboro Fire Department, Jay McCarter and Joe Rahenkamp, and they'll be here today.
I don't fit in there. Try not to.
Hey. How you doing?
That's the best looking oldest man.
Is it?
Yeah. The happiest, always smiling.
Yeah. It don't even hurt you to smile. 4 of them down there in the shopping center.
Yeah.
Got him a seat. He filled out every one of them. Me and the rest of the guys from the ladder truck and all went and did the inspections. And we could do about 40 in one day, but we didn't turn all that in.
I hope you did. Well, we did one time, then what we ended up doing, having to go 2 or 3 stations down and help them with theirs on the other side of town. So we just turned in a certain amount.
You can't turn in too many. They inspect it every day.
Oh.
So we'd do sometimes we'd do 40 in one day, the next day we wouldn't do about 5, or we wouldn't do any. If it was raining or something, we would turn in 20. What are you doing for you?
Hey, I had too much a year and they cut about half of it off.
Oh, I thought maybe they took some of your brains out. Had too many.
I just can't hear.
I had some cutting too right here. It's not very big.
Yeah.
Who's going to buy and get richer?
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown. Oh, Mike, okay.
Mike's going to get Richard and McCarter.
Okay.
I looked at my records and I've been retired 35 years.
Well, a lot's happened in 35 years.
A lot.
How does it feel to be retired?
Great. I knew I was going to like it the first 15 minutes.
It's coming in here.
Made me a walking stick about 50 years ago. I knew I was going to need it.
How you made it 50 years ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
Made out of firewood.
Oh, okay.
Had a vine wrapped around it.
Huh?
Looked like it had a vine wrapped around it.
Carved that.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh, you carved it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Reichl.
That's Richard Reichl.
Richard Reichl. I don't need to talk to him.
We're gonna talk about the rabbits.
Yeah. Put him in his car.
He's got his cane too. I need one.
Somebody gave J. Manus, JW, couldn't remember his name. And we went out for the birthday when he was 75 years old. He had it, carried it around. It had a Christmas wrapping around the bottom of it and the top. My wife said, "What is that?" She meant, "What are you doing with the cane?" He said, "It's a present, but I ain't unwrapped it yet. I don't know what it is." He could come up with stuff. I mean, anything.
Richard Reichl's in the house.
There he is.
Oh, you camouflaged. I didn't even see you.
Oh, how you doing?
Hey, Richard.
JW?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. I come by your house the other day. You ain't got no more pecan trees. Come by JW? He said he come by your house. I come by your house. You ain't got no more pecan trees.
I got one.
One? Okay.
But the small nut,
Oh, yeah.
squirrel planted tree.
We're all small nuts.
That's right.
Oh,
Squirrel. I had 5 out front,
Yeah.
but they died out.
Yeah.
The one I got now is squirrel planted.
Okay.
But it's a big tree.
Maybe we need to head it out here.
And they said, "Could we help you, sir?"
Oh, I know.
I didn't know it was sold in there.
I know that
And-
feeling.
I said, "Yeah, I used to work here, and I got some money tied up in a kitty. I'm coming out to get me a drink." They offered.
I had a story. I had been retired about 7 years. And I knew one of the guys on the company, and they had a bunch of young guys. And of course, I always liked a good joke. So the captain I knew, I said, "You want to do something funny?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Just follow my lead." So I went around to the front of the truck, and the young guy says, "Could I help you, sir?" I said, "Yeah. Can I ask y'all some questions?" I said, "I always wanted to be a firefighter, but my belly was too big, a little slow. I just want to ask you some questions." "Oh, yes, sir." So I started out pretty easy and kind of built up. And they was looking at, who is this man? And finally the captain, he said, "Sir, you know so much about you probably could have been a chief there." And the guy said, the young guy said, "We've been ahead." And I said, "Yeah, I got you." But yeah, that was fun to do that. But they didn't know me from Adam, which is okay. I understand. Well, I mean, whatever.
We were looking at yard sales,
Oh,
going stopping at yard sales.
That's nice.
There was a bunch of
Got
them
somebody.
in
Yeah,
Brown
he's got.
Summit.
He should have
So we went in
Richard Johnson and
over
Captain
there.
McCarter in there.
Yeah, they are.
He does. The canes are coming out. We could call this the Cane Society.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Y'all should drink that coffee before it gets cold.
Come on, get some
Come on,
coffee.
get you some, or I'll fix you
Y'all
some.
want some coffee?
You want some? You want me to fix you
I
some?
might eat a donut. I don't know.
Okay. You want some coffee?
Y'all
You want
some
some coffee,
coffee?
Bob?
I don't.
Okay.
Sure. Water? We got some water.
I may make some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Richard,
how
you
are
and my
you?
wife Jane.
See,
Oh, Tom, good to see you.
I think you know
Yes, sit down.
Might be.
church or something.
Might
How do you
be.
do?
Hey, bud.
Yeah.
He knows somebody that knows
One of them
somebody.
old guys.
everybody got a stick.
Yeah. Come on up here, Mac.
I'm coming, Bo.
Slowly.
You got it. You got it.
bud. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mac.
How you doing?
All right. Pretty good.
You fall down?
Yeah.
That's why I carry this.
I had too much ear, and they took part of it off.
And that's why. Hey, Willie.
Hey,
Hey.
We got some coffee and donuts back here if you want. Coffee and donuts. Ain't got no Pepsi.
Hey, bud. How you doing?
Pepsi and onions. Hey, buddy.
How you doing? See you, bud. Hey, you. Always. Yeah, always. Always. I saw you catch your wife. Yes, I saw you. You had the daughter too. Daughter did.
Pardon me,
I
sir.
tell you, it was. This is why I came out here. That's all I got to do. Where you been, my man? How you doing? I'm doing good.
That's good.
Good to see you.
Have a seat.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. Yes, that's the reason I came. I hear stories about you sometimes.
There are stories too. There are stories.
Hey, stories. Oh, we can tell some stories. Me and you about the only ones left to tell some stories.
Hey, buddy. Been a long time, man.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Same here, buddy.
Good to be here, ain't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure is.
Keeps you out of trouble.
What if I get you to do that?
She said 2 or 3 things a day, right? That's all right. Hey, Richard.
Hey, how are you, Jen?
How are you doing?
Done pretty good.
Good to see you.
Same here.
Should have put it up there. May I get you some coffee or anything?
I get a cup of coffee.
All right.
I don't want to fall.
No. They wouldn't find me till the buzzard circled.
Well, I have somebody with me about all the time, but I still don't want to fall. Well, that's good, though. I don't like being by myself. I don't like my conversation. Keith and Kendall said,
JW, I got you a seat right here.
take that stick everywhere you go. Well, that's not off of walking either. That's getting rid of stuff. Come on here, man.
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah, man. Krispy Kreme, I enjoyed it.
You know what I'm gonna glaze. You want one of those as a
Just get that. Yeah. Well, you know, in bad shape, I tell you.
Giving up.
That's the sad one.
Oh.
The long drive back. Yep, thank God, he's very lucky. Still alive.
Let's see, we're missing Richard Page.
Thanks, you, buddy.
There you go.
Really?
He should be here. What time is it now, 10 o'clock?
It's 9:50.
Okay.
He got 10 minutes, ain't he?
Yeah. Well, you know, firefighters, we're gonna be early most of the time.
Thank you, honey.
It's in our blood, right?
I'm not going to.
You say you want some water?
You better go get a drop. You want something to drink?
A drink?
You want something to drink?
Coffee, water?
I'm good.
Did you guys, 8 o'clock, was that always the shift start?
Yeah.
Eight
Here
o'clock?
comes Rahenkamp.
And we had guys roll in about 2 minutes
That's
late.
Is that-
7 o'clock. Okay.
If you're late, you got 10 hours.
You what?
Had to pull an hour, 10 hours if you're late or something.
How you doing?
Joe Rahenkamp, that's 17 years. How you doing? Hey, Joe.
Hey, Zack.
Chief, how are you?
Get you a seat, pull up here behind me right here. Yes, sir. Good to see you. You look good.
Thank you. Thanks for asking me to be part of this. Hey, Joe.
Get you a chair there behind me.
Hey, John.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Richard. Hey, buddy.
You behave yourself?
Always.
That's the first time I ever saw you behave yourself. You gotta keep the eye on him. He's a wheel.
I ain't have your money, though.
You're the man that's got the money.
If I had your money, I'd be all right.
You're in bad shape.
Yeah.
And then, well, I heard back that you're not sure.
I'd be a millionaire if I had
Anything
your
out
money.
of, Sam?
Millionaire or trillionaire?
See, I know you
But you showed up, so.
You got a man.
This is my
He don't
wife,
even believe
right
it.
here, Miss J.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
All right, I'm leaving. I'm gonna leave y'all. Y'all
Okay.
have fun.
This is Zack Kearny.
Zach.
Yes,
nice-
ma'am.
Very nice to meet you.
You as well. All right, John, how you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
Moving slow.
Oh, yeah. But still moving.
Bye.
Jane, Thank you.
You're welcome.
Everybody give Jane a hand.
Larry.
Y'all all know that behind every good firefighter was a better wife.
It's for you, Christina.
Guys, before we get started, which he's got this, I want to introduce you to Zack Kearny. I met him a few years ago. He's a young and upcoming Greensboro firefighter. I told him what we were doing today, and he wanted to come. He actually they let him come over here on duty, so that's good. And we appreciate you coming.
Yes, sir. Thank
And,
you for having me.
Zach's, I don't know, he's gonna go places.
I'm flattered, Chief. Thank you.
But it says a little bit about his character as well for him being here today with us older people and showing some interest in what we're doing and why we're going to, what we're going to talk about.
How old are you?
I'm 28 years old. I have lived in Greensboro for most of my life. I moved up to Charlotte for college, and then after I graduated, I moved up to Indianapolis and got tired of doing that and left the relationship and spent all my money to come back to Greensboro to try to become a firefighter. And luckily I got on first time. I was first assigned to Station 52, old Station 16, and now I'm at Station 40, which I guess is Station 12. So been there for about 2 months now over 40, and I mean, I love it. I love this job. I really do.
What year did you get on?
So I came out of the recruit class 77, so we started in 2022, so I guess I'm a little over 3 years now, roughly two and a half, two and some change on the line now. So I first started on ladder 52, went to the engine over there at 52, and then I just transferred to engine 40. So been over there now, and on a higher back today, and thankfully Captain Johnson was kind enough to let me come up here with you guys for a little bit today. So I love the city, I love this department, and honestly, I'm just happy to be here and listen to some stories, you know what I mean, pick up something from everybody. I think that'd be really nice.
Well, you got nice hair, and I wish I had your hair, but
Thank
anyway.
you. Well, I got a little gray hair going, but you know, that's all right. I'd rather have be a silver fox than have a chrome dome, you know,
All
as
right.
they say.
How many people are on that mandatory list now? With hardback?
Oh, the ERF list?
On the hardback list?
Well, I would say today there were 6 holes on the roster, and I think there were probably 5 or 6 higher backs. The mandatory higher backs, the ERFs that you hear about, those are they still occur, but not as much now. When I first came on, we were down, I don't know, 20, 30 for minimum staffing, so they were pretty much every single day. But nowadays, with the amount of recruit classes we've been able to put through, we've been close to minimum staffing. So you might see, I don't know, 1 or 2 every now and then, but it's not as common as what it was when I first came out a couple of years ago. So I think everybody's thankful for that. You know, you could have a say when you work the overtime and not necessarily like, hey, we need you today, you know? So.
Still not quite 10, correct? I'm waiting on Richard. We're waiting on Richard Page. Today, and of course I'll go over it in a few minutes, but we have 7 of the oldest Greensboro firefighters. And now Richard Reichl, he's one of the 7. There's more in his age bracket that couldn't get all, but he's right in there at the very end. But the other 6 are in order of, I'll tell you in a few minutes how that panned out. Of course, JW has got the honor of being the oldest Greensboro firefighter. Captain Matt and Captain McCarter, Joe Rahenkamp, they have the honor of being in the first Greensboro class of 1956. There are only 2 left out of that class. And actually, I'm honored to be here with you guys today. And we got some other people here that were helped, and some of my good friends and firefighters came through with me. And I'll let you introduce yourself while we're here. And go ahead, Jimmy. He's
All right, my name is J.P. Williams. I had 38 years with the Greensboro Fire Department. I left retired in 07. Greatest organization there was. I think of you when you just told me how much you love it, because I loved every single day of it. Here some love in retirement. Retirement's okay. I'd love to be back to, but I know it's not the job now. I wouldn't be able to perform the way you do, let's say. But you think about it every time you see the trucks or talk to some young man, and it was a good job for me. It gave me a good living, and I miss every day of it. I was lucky enough to be assigned to several great stations, the Central Station for one, and Station 7, Station 11, Station 10. I was on hazmat, captain on the hazmat, captain on high-level rescue, Task Force 5. It's been a great career. I can't say anything more about it.
This good man still loves the fire department. Mike, tell us.
I'm Joe, excuse me.
You go ahead.
I'm Joe Rahenkamp.
Joe, where was you at Station 8 a lot of years? You a driver?
Yeah, I was a driver.
And you was in the first 1956 class.
Right.
All right. And we've got some questions. I'm not going to ask any of you straight up. I'm going to ask a question. We'll throw it out there and then y'all can contribute because I don't want to put anybody on the spot. All right. Mike?
Mike Brown. I came on 1974. Spent 31 years. I'm like Jimmy. I loved every minute of it. Started as a rover back then, and I moved from I think every station in the city, which there wasn't that many. I did that for 2 years and met so many good people. And then I got assigned to Engine 2 under O.C. Johnson. He took me under his wing, taught me a lot. First time he ever let me drive, I think my foot was doing this. So nervous. But we got over that. Then I went to the squad when they come in as 2 people that rode it every day as a medical type unit. And rode with Larry. We had some good times, some bad times. We looked at each other and said, uh-oh, what we do here? What we do there? Did that for, 7, 8 years? I can't remember. Then I went to fire prevention for 5. I went back to the line as a battalion chief. Then I moved from fire prevention into the fire investigator role. Left there and went back to fire prevention as an assistant chief and retired in 2003.
Richard Johnson.
Came on in 1964.
64,
I'm right. Richard and I came on together. And I was assigned to truck 2 for 12 years. A long time. And then I finally made captain, and I was served on the truck 7, and then I went back to engine 2, and from there I went back to 7 as a battalion chief, and from there I went to I don't know, I went all over. I went back to Station 1 for several years, and then I finally ended up as a battalion deputy chief on the line, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. A lot of headaches too, but it was good.
I'd like to say one thing too. Between Chief Johnson and Captain Mack, they taught me more stuff and helped me in my career probably the best of anybody I've ever had. And I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
And you paying them back today.
Oh, yeah.
You paying them back. You went and picked them up.
Yeah. Anytime I can.
Richard Page, you want to have a seat there and tell us a little bit about
It's a month's worth of training notes we had in 1950. 1958.
I think I heard about that. I know it.
And we wrote it all. We had to copy it all off the blackboard. We had no handouts at all. That was in 1958. Chief Powell was our training officer. I think he was the captain at that time. Anyway, I didn't know if it'd be interesting or not. I can't read it now.
Well, that's okay.
What year was that? How far does that go back?
Went in training in May '58.
Wow. 3 years old.
Captain Wooten?
I joined the fire department in 1960. Thinking that's right. And I was really shocked at the type of people I was working with. I had never worked with anybody that was as nice to me as they were. Fred Lawrence told me I could borrow anything he had but his toothbrush. And I worked at Central Station for a short time while they was building and finishing engine station 11. My brother-in-law was a good friend of McCarter. Probably forgot this. Yeah. And he said, they're building a fire station down close to me. You ever thought about coming on the fire department? I said, no, I hadn't thought about it, but I might like it. So I went down and applied, and I was working at Pete Lillard and got out of the Navy. And they told me when I was getting out of the Navy, said, you can't get a job. You will never get a, you better stay in here where you get protection. Well, I went on out and I got a job at Pete Lillard in about 2 days. And I come on the Greensboro Fire Department and I really liked it. And I was working at Central Station. I was riding a Deuce. And that's when it was a Ward de France. What was it? Ward de France.
Ward de France.
Yeah, and you couldn't sneak up on anybody because it made so much noise. They hear you coming for 3 miles.
Backfired too, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it would, the driver could make it backfire anytime he wanted to by cut the switch off and cut it back on, and the gas would build up in the muffler and boom, he'd throw a ball of fire out like that. So they'd do it once in a while when somebody was standing waiting on the bus or something, they'd drop a ball of fire and see them all jump back. But it also did it by itself when you backed it in the station after you've been on a call. You might get out and be upstairs in the bedroom before it went off. It'd drop a ball of fire like that out on the floor and go boom. And the worst thing about it was, though, I never drove a truck at all. We went on a call out behind the Summit Shopping Center, and the captain was off. Vic Stockard was acting captain. He said, Wooten, get up here and drive this truck back. I said, God, I can't drive a truck. We're going to show you. On the way back, we got a fire call, of course. And when we got to the fire, I started, I'm getting me something on and go in. So, no, you're going to pump. I thought I'd die. But I was really nervous, and when I got back to the station, I'm backing in, and I got it crooked a little bit. You didn't have much room in the doors up there. It almost touched on both sides. The old one didn't, but the new one almost did. I'm backing in, and they all stand out there watching, and I'm nervous anyway. Pull it out again, back, pull it up again, back. Come over and open the door and said, we want it up and down this way, not across the they always treat you nice. I really enjoyed it. Then I got sent to Engine 3 on Yanceyville Road, and I stayed out there for 13 years with just about everybody that worked out there was really nice people and had good neighbors, and they'd come over every day, some of them. And, I enjoyed all of it for the most part, and never regretted coming on and being a firefighter. I retired in 1990, 35 years ago, and if I live to January, I'll be 92 years old.
Wow. Good life.
Richard?
Oh, okay. I come on 1964, April 1st. Chief Wouche hired me. I was working at the post office at O'Hare Field in Chicago, and I came down here, and he said, I talked when I wrote him a letter, and he wanted me to send a picture. He wanted to see if I was a white guy or a black guy, because we were separate then, before we integrated. Anyway, I come down and talked to him, and he said, well, you got to have a physical. So he sent me over to Dr. Klutz. I said, Dr. Klutz? That don't sound like anybody smart, but anyway, I went over there, and he passed me and said, when can you come back to work? When can you come to work? And I said, well, I got to go resign from the post office. So he said, can you be back here April 1st? I said, okay, yeah. So I moved and everything, and I got thinking, I said, I hope this guy don't believe in April Fool jokes. And I have to go to work at the mill. So anyway, we went through training, and I think there's about 5 or 6 of us still alive. We lost a few of our class from '64, but they assigned me to Truck 5. It was a brand new truck, American LaFrance, 100-foot aerial, I believe. Yeah, I believe it was 100 foot. And so stayed on there, I think 2.5 years, and then they sent me to Station 1, and Boat Beal was my captain. And then he moved to Station, Central Station. We were all both on truck 2 together, and we followed each other around several. I worked for Boat Beal 5 different times at 3 different stations. Anyway, stayed there at Central I don't think it was even a year. And then we integrated, and they put me down to Station 4, and that was interesting. They left, I think 2, because we had 3 shifts then, so they left 2 guys, 2 of the black guys on each shift, 1 on each truck, 1 on the engine, 1 on the truck, and then they supposedly knew the territory. So anyway, that's what they worked out for them. I think I stayed there for a couple of years, maybe. Then they sent me out to 9, and stayed out 9 for a while, then went back to 4, and then they had the snorkel. We were on the snorkel at 4, but first time I was on the ladder truck, just that ground ladder truck. But
Richard, tell us about the snorkel. What was it?
The snorkel, well, they named it Truck 10, but it was Snorkel 1 at that time. But it was brand new, and it was unusual, and everybody tried to learn how to operate it.
And the bed over the front of the truck, is that correct?
Well, that's
The elevated platform is what they called it.
Yeah. It was hard to drive because all that was over the front and all this stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I drove it, but just a few times. Well, I want to say something about Truck 5. We got to a fire call, and he said, Reichl, you want to drive back? I said, well, you were sitting backwards. I didn't know where we were. So I did drive, but somebody should tell me how to get back to the house. But anyway, the biggest fire we had when I was on 5 was out on High Point Road, the trucking company. And we pulled in there and set up the aerial ladder with a nozzle on top and everything. And the place wasn't on fire too much when we started, but then all of a sudden burst through, and we ended up having moved the truck and everything because it was flames shooting up everywhere. So that was the first big fire I think I was on truck 5. But anyway, I moved to, stayed at 4 5 different times, about 13 years altogether at 4. And then I ended up going to 14. Then they sent me back to 4. They sent me back to 14, and I retired at 14. And everybody who I worked with at 14 has gone on. And I told Soupy, I was the last one left. I says, Captain Harris is gone, Mitzi's gone, Galloway's gone. He says, you know what that means? You're next. Thanks a lot.
April Fools, huh?
Yeah.
Ken McCarter.
Well, I started August the 1st, 1956. There was 18 of us. And Captain Powell was a training officer. And he was scared and we were scared. Because that's when we opened up the training center. And I stayed on engine company number 4. Then they moved me to 7. And I stayed there a few days. I come back, and engine 11 opened up in November the 29th of 1960. And I got assigned as a driver at engine 11. I stayed there 17 and a half years. They sent me to engine 1 for 52 days. Then I come back to 11. And, 11 there. And I went to 4 on the snorkel, which was a showboat, is what they called it then. And they had a fire up there on February one place in Elmer Street, and I believe it was 9th floor, and couldn't ever get it set up because of the wires and so Chief Warwick says, take that blank thing out to 9 and leave it. So we got rid of it, but it was really a showboat. And then I went back to 4, stayed there 12 and a half years, and retired in 95. And I had the best supervisors and men to work with there ever was. And I hate I left, but I left. And
Do you remember pushing that guy off the truck that wouldn't get off? You said, get off or I'm gonna push you off. You remember that?
Yeah.
Pushed him right off.
Yeah. We had some fun times, really did. Had some real fun times. They threw bricks through the windows. We caught one of them and standing on him, and the police come. They said, where is he? He said, under our feet. We were standing on him. We had some fun there. Started out $232 a month and worked 96 hours a week. The guys now don't realize that the pay's much different. Me and Joe, we had a lot of fun out there. Of course, he's always a millionaire.
You want to tell us a little bit about it?
I started out in 1962. A lot of these guys was already on, or maybe they wasn't on when I come on, I don't know. But anyway, I left the Southern Webbing Mill. I worked there 10 years. I was 28 when I come on, so most of them was younger than I was when they come on. So that put me. So I worked there 32 years. I left in 94, and I've been gone 32 years since I've been left. And my bad luck, I hadn't been back to the fire stations. I took care of my family and one thing and another. So it was one of the best moves I could have ever made is when I went on the fire department, because it was like a family. They all good guys.
JW has got the honor of being the oldest living Greensboro firefighter right now. JW, 92? You 92, JW?
I'll be 92 in November.
Okay.
You don't miss me far. I'm 90. I got 91 years old.
All right, while we're talking about that, last night.
You're already 92, ain't you?
All right, guys, last night, I prayed about this, and I hope I would say the right things and be here with you guys, but while we're talking about years of service, on my notes right
I had 41.
Right. Bear with me a minute. I got it right here. Yeah, here it is. In the room today, that's excluding the others, myself and all the people here that came extra, which was great. The 7 oldest, we have 231 years of service. The oldest by birth date right now is Captain J.W. Wolfe. The next oldest by birth date is Captain Bob Wooten. The next oldest is Captain Richard Page. The next oldest is Captain J. McCarter, all by birth date. The next oldest is Driver Joe Rahenkamp. And the next oldest is Deputy Chief Richard Johnson. And the next oldest is Firefighter 2, Richard Reichl. So you can see we got a lot of service time in here. By the way, since everybody's introducing themselves, I'm retired Battalion Chief Larry Cockman. I'm chairman of the Greensboro Firefighters Historical Society's Remembrance Committee, and I've been told many times that I needed to get a roundtable discussion of the older firefighters, and so here we are. I've served as driver, squadman, captain, battalion chief, assistant chief over training. I've worked at stations 5, 7, 11, 4, of course, training division, station 6 for a little while, but as the rest of you said, the greatest job you could ever have, made lifetime friends, and a lot of you in here I worked with and for, and a lot of you in here had a big influence on my career. Captain McCarter, I worked JW, Richard Johnson, Mike, I could go on. All these people that's in here, it's had an influence on my career. But all right, let's just. I want to read a couple of things I took some notes on, and then I'm going to go over and ask you some questions. And, in the room today, we have firefighters that worked in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and 80s, and 90s. 5 decades. Every shift that you've worked, every story that you've lived, every life that you have touched became part of our proud heritage and tradition in the Greensboro Fire Department. All of you in this room, and hundreds of others before you and after us, have contributed to the Greensboro Fire Department. I did some research. Y'all are what they call the silent generation. Y'all were born between 1928 and 1945. Silent generation, they were more conformist, civic-minded, and had a cautious approach to life. Y'all's parents was in the Great Depression. The generation that followed is mine, baby boomers, and we tried to change everything. But I wanted to cover that before we got started. Our heritage is your heritage, and I feel real honored to be out here today with you guys, all of you. I've worked with some of you directly, as I said earlier. All right, let me just start out with a question. Does anybody know when Hot Dog Day started? Hot Dog Day on Saturday. Saturday hot dogs. Now, was that tradition when you come along?
No.
It wouldn't? Does anybody else?
It was pretty much when I come on.
Every Saturday you
Pretty much. If you didn't have a fire or something, you'd have hot dogs.
on Saturday.
And I still have them. I go to the American Legion
Okay.
and have a hot dog. And then there's a church over on 16th Street that has a hot dog.
It's
Okay.
the way we told there's time to go to church the next day. Have a hot dog, you're going to church.
Yeah, if you didn't have hot dogs, you didn't go to church, right? Okay. What about Sunday school classes? Anybody remember that? Tell us anybody about Sunday school classes.
We had Sunday school class. Had a different teacher each Sunday. There was 4 different teachers. And we all attended about 30, 45 minutes.
We got for Sunday school at 11 in the church.
Okay.
And I go to Sunday school every Sunday morning. My wife, she's bedridden. And my daughter, she would take care of my wife while I go to Sunday school. And when I get back, then she'll go to preaching. But we had 28 in our Sunday school class at one time, and now it's down to about 8 because most of them have passed away.
Okay.
Jim, do you remember the guy that owned that Greensboro Auto Parts that came to 7?
I don't remember his name. I know we had it, too.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Albert Bigger.
Every Sunday.
Yep.
They didn't call him Albert, they called him something else.
He came there.
We had, at the end, we had, for a few months, we had the guy from Hunter Hills, the preacher from Hunter Hills came in.
Bill Parr's daddy taught us a lot too. Governor got me wrong. For several years. He come up and teach and just different ones to come.
You know, a lot of the firefighters keep their vehicles clean. It used to be that we washed only our cars on Saturdays. You remember that rule? We had to, only time you could do any stories about that? Open cab trucks. Anybody got any stories? I got a couple of things. I just, Richard Page, someone told me a story about you that, in the Lone Ranger. Can you tell us about the Lone Ranger story?
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning.
I said I wasn't going to get you the correct question, but I already told Richard I was going to ask him this question.
We had to have some night training at one time. So, I was at Station 5, and the truck and engine, we went out to training centers. So, this was after supper, and so the truck company, when we were going to simulate an actual fire, we didn't have a fire, but the truck went in and they called for the engine, so we went charging in, and I had the portable tape recorder and started playing it over the speaker on the truck as we approached. And I don't know how it got around, but I think Joey McIntyre got all that started. Got it out to the open. Luckily, there was no chiefs around.
The rest of you got any stories about going to the training center, anything funny? I mean, anything you, we had, back in your day, as far as, how long was you training? Was it like, anybody want to elaborate how long you trained?
Yeah, we trained 30 days. We cleaned the garage for about 2 weeks and washed windows and so forth. And Then we went out and trained grounds for 2 weeks and was signed to companies after 30 days. We didn't have no EMT or first aid or nothing like that. 30 days was all we trained, and we were all firefighters too. And
I got a comment.
Okay.
About something they did to us. 5 hours. You remember, anybody remember 5 hours? You were late or something like that?
Explain that.
At 5 hours the next day. So if you had a part-time job, you were stuck because you had to work 5 hours in the morning, go there, clean the pit at the garage or something, or cut weeds on the fence.
It's a punishment or something, right?
It was punishment, yeah, for being late.
Late for work or something like that.
well, the second 5 hours was 10 though.
Wow.
Next time.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you were late, you had to work 10 extra hours that
Well,
next day?
what they
First
done,
time.
they would assign you to the garage for 10 hours, the second time. The first time was 5 hours. And nobody was at the garage but Huck and Burnside. And Huck didn't care what you done when you got out there. I mean, you know. He was a little bit of a short guy, Huck Ballinger.
Another thing, at 8 o'clock, you better be in full uniform.
Yeah, stand by your truck
Yeah.
with your cap on.
I mean, you had to have your cap on. I remember at 10, this guy, he was sitting at the table in the kitchen. That's where we always met. And he didn't have his cap. Hair, that was our captain at that time. He walked over, picked the guy's cap up and jammed it down on his head. So he didn't sit there bareheaded anymore.
Did y'all have lineup? Sounds like y'all have like a lineup.
Yeah.
And you had to be in dress uniform, right?
Chief Warwick said, I'm buying you them uniforms, and by God, you go wear them. And it ain't like that now. They just wear what you want to.
So you left him?
Yeah, dressed in and out.
And they made us wear them all day.
And you wore neckties.
White
Well,
shirt and
after
tie.
10 o'clock,
At
you
the
started
fire
wearing
station,
your
we never had blue uniform.
neckties. And we had them on exhaust fan to hang them up on it like that. Suck your time right into it.
That happened to Red Wren when we went to the clip-on ties. The first call we got after getting those new ties, Red was setting the fan up in the doorway and it jerked the fan to do it all the way through the fan.
Yeah, but we're going to a funeral, and we had 2 different color shirts, blue shirts, light blue and a shirt like this. And Chief Warwick didn't like that. And he told everybody, he said, I want everybody to wear the same color shirts. Well, we had 2 or 3 smart alecks that didn't do that. So he said, well, by God, I can tell you one thing. You'll wear them from now on, so we all went to white shirts.
Yeah.
That's why we got the white shirts and neckties. But like Paige said, some of the guys that bought the ties down, you know, wouldn't put it up front. He said, well, I can fix that. So I can get the clip-on ties. That's what he done. See, Chief Warwick run his fire department. I mean, he didn't let nobody run it, but he run it.
Any of you, Richard, do you remember your first day on the fire department? Anything about your first day?
Not really.
Do you remember, I know that you were real particular about the flag.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about the flag. Tell us about that.
Well, I just came out of the military and we always, the flag went up and went down. And I just kept the same thing. And I used to pick on Ed Sawyer all the time. Ed was at 7, and I'd go by and the flag would be up, or it'd be down, and I'd take him and say, Ed, you want to get the flag in tonight or whatever? Oh, I'll get it. Yeah, he got it. But
He did the same thing at 16 when I was captain out at 16 on Meadowwood. You lived right up the road from 16, and when the rookie didn't take the flag down, we get a telephone call or something.
Oh, yeah.
Richard, he says, got something going on there? I knew then, I said, oh, Lord.
Zach, is the flag still a big deal as far as,
Yeah, I would say it absolutely is. I think one of the stipulations that has recently been, I guess, understood is that if there's a light that stays on it 24/7, there's some stations that will keep it up 24/7, unless it's like big thunderstorms coming through or high winds where it can get torn to pieces or something like that. But if it doesn't have the light that permanently is fixated on the flagpole, they come down every day, they go up every day, right? But if it stays on 24/7, it's fair game to stay up. I will say that I think it varies per station. Sometimes some battalion chiefs are a little bit more particular about that order. You'll still have people look at the flag order in regard to like if it's half staff for an event, a memory of someone's passed, some event has occurred. So I would say generally speaking, it's still a pretty large consideration.
You still have your departmental flag?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. So we obviously have American flag, department flag, just like that one on the wall over there. And I think one of the cool things about doing station supplies, being the one that's responsible for ordering the paper towels, the flags, the med gloves, whatever, is if one of the Greensboro Fire flags is torn to bits that needs to be retired, then you kind of get the unofficial first dibs on taking it and adding it to your garage or man cave or something like that. So I don't know. That's the way I see it. If it's torn, instead of throwing it away or something, let's let it live somewhere. Let it be proudly displayed in a garage or somewhere where someone will appreciate it. So I have one myself.
If I could share something about that.
yeah, go ahead.
The year before the fire department had their departmental flag, I submitted a proposal to the Greensboro Police Department to create a departmental flag. And it was created the year before, and then the year after, the fire department created their departmental flag.
Looks good. It was a really good looking flag, honestly. It really is.
Joe, you got any stories about Station 8? I know you was, to me, if I think about Station 8, I think about Joe Rahenkamp. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's out there on Lee Street. Mateers bought that building. Then one day had the curb market. And it,
What's the biggest fire you think you ever pumped on? You remember some big fires that you pumped on at 8? Any stand out in your mind?
not offhand, I don't.
All right. What was your most, you have a challenging day there, anything that went on that you?
Well, just took it as it came.
How old are you now?
I'm 90 years old. Now I'll be 91 years old on the first day of the month.
Larry,
Yes.
talking about the flags, when they built 9 and 10, 9 was not open when we were in training. So we spent a lot of time out there cleaning it up. But when they put the flagpole up, they put it way out in the middle of the yard. So when I got transferred out, when we got promoted in 1970, I was promoted to Station 9 as captain. And one day, we were talking about the flag, had to walk through the grass out there, and it was wet. So we said, why don't we just move the flagpole? So we, Big John, you remember John and Michael? He brought his post hole digger to the station, and we dug a hole right there in front of the office. And but we kept waiting till we saw Chief Powell pass. He would pass every afternoon right after 5 o'clock, going home. We waited till he passed, and we went out there and took that flagpole up. And I think everybody out there at the station got involved in moving it and set it down in that hole just outside the office door. And anyway, nothing was ever said about it, so we just sort of kept it to itself.
It's still there.
Yeah.
It's still there in the same spot.
Yeah, but it was way out in the middle of the yard on the other side of the way we moved.
Zach, I do have a question. You
Zach's got a question. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You mentioned medical gloves. How many boxes you go through a day?
I would say it depends on your assignment. Like when I was riding Engine 52 at the time, the second busiest engine in the city, we rode roughly 3,300 calls a year, and the vast majority of those were obviously medical calls. Obviously over there in Wendover, it was a whole lot of fire alarms, car wrecks, overdoses, and just medical calls. Fire is far and few between, unfortunately. I would say at a place like that, I would order 14 boxes a month, and we would run through them pretty regularly. It's almost every single time towards the end of the month, people will be yelling at me, "Hey Zach, why didn't you order enough gloves?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm ordering 14 boxes, and we're using them in 2 or 3 weeks." You know, so I would say nowadays it depends on what your assignment is, what's the call volume in that place. I've never been somewhere where we run through an entire box in one day, but it's not uncommon for 4, 7, 52, 8, those type of places to run through a box every couple of days. Because I mean, at a 52, at a 4, at a 7, you know, you run anywhere from, 6 to 20 calls in one day, and the vast majority of those are medical alarms. So you're going to have all 4 people or 3 people on the truck wearing a set of gloves, new set of gloves every time. So I mean, they're flying through. I don't want to know what the budget is for gloves because I know it's probably a lot of money spent on those every year. So.
You had a question?
Yeah, so I was curious about, it's kind of a 2-part question. I know that air packs and the SCBAs that we have now were not as common, not as standard, right? And so I'm not exactly sure the year in which they were implemented as the standard you were expected to use those, but I'm curious about the reaction to those because beforehand, you have the mustaches, you have this, you're eating smoke, you don't have the air pack to protect you. What was the general reaction from the department in regard to we have to use these now?
The first air packs came in '64. When we got out of training, they put them on the truck. That new truck 5, didn't even have a place for them. They were all in suitcases, and they had to move some stuff so they could put them there where you could reach them. And then we'd have drills, see how fast you could don the thing. And some guys just would not. They just didn't want to put it on.
Yes. Some people got claustrophobic with them.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't stand the mask on.
Couldn't get them to put it on.
They just couldn't stand the mask.
We was also encouraged by the chiefs not to wear it because they
Share a
didn't.
mask.
What?
The other shift shared your mask.
Listen to this. Jimmy had a
I'm
good
just speaking,
point.
when I came on, you had like 4 to a truck, or if you had 4 personnel. But it's the same mask for all 3 shifts, and when you get through with the fire, you'd have to clean it.
Oh, yeah.
If you threw up in it.
And throw it up.
I know.
You go to the lint hole somewhere else, you did that too. But when I got off, you would take my mask, but I mean, it would be clean, of course,
Yeah, clean.
but you might have to wash it 4 or 5 times
Yeah,
a day,
yeah.
depends on how many calls you had.
Yeah, really.
And then they eventually give you your own masks, but your same air packs on there, but you
Yeah,
had your
yeah, that's the
mask.
same way it is now.
Lint hole.
The lint hole?
Yeah.
So at Cone Mill, if you was in 7 territory, old 3's territory, whatever, over Gainesville, and they'd have fires over there, and they had their own private fire brigade. And of course, they wouldn't call the city fire department until they couldn't handle something, because it's a fire that started under the big timbers. And you can see the timbers now if you'd like to go to Revolution Restaurant, somewhere like that, and you see them. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And we had a reception there one time. I could remember I mean, it's just beautiful. And I always think about what's under it, But they had little planks you walk, and it's water underneath it.
Yeah.
What was it, 3, 5 feet deep?
Yeah, you
Some
fall off
places.
it, yep.
And you can't see nothing. When they call you, it's dark, and you'd be walking. It's the best training exercise you've ever had. You think the smokehouse was, but this. And if you step off that plank, you go down. And then you had your 29.5-pound air pack on your back, plus all your other gear, and your boots fill up. But it's hard to explain unless you've been there.
Well, didn't they have sheep out there to eat the grass and so forth?
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Had what, Matt?
sheep, they had sheep out there and, to keep the grass down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your right to passage, you know, I know for all of us, and I came on in '70, and all of y'all were here, and was how much smoke you could eat without putting the pack on. Really, that was, if you could eat smoke, then you was accepted as a good firefighter.
Well, we didn't get to touch the air packs, except on Saturday to check them and put them back on, because, you put them on, the Chief Divinity was the world's worst. Take that thing off and get in there and fight the fire, because it costs 15 cents to fill them. The only time we checked them was on Saturday and write our name down and an amount and the date.
So I guess a follow-up to that conversation about air packs, right? Like nowadays with the building materials that are used nowadays with synthetics and plastics and all these different things, one of the big topics of conversation with protecting firefighters nowadays is wear your air packs so you're not exposed to those toxins, and how that correlates to your risk of getting cancer in your lifetime. And so I'm curious, like coming from that area and that era and that timeline where you're a smoke eater, you don't have that airway protection with an air pack, like how often were guys from your time periods, fighting cancer versus nowadays? Or like, was that a cause for concern? Was that something that was on your radar? Like, how is that different than just kind of eating the smoke and being there in it versus nowadays? It's like, if you're anywhere near fire and you're not on air, like it ain't gonna be good for you. You know what I mean? It is the hard expectation. You're anywhere near it, even overhaul after the fire's been extinguished, like you're on air to protect yourself from, any kind of damage essentially.
These guys here eat a lot of smoke, but I guess before they started keeping statistics, we really don't know how many of cancers were caused by what we've been exposed to. We are fortunate to live as long as we have, as much smoke as we've eaten. So y'all can jump right in here. I don't want this to be about me talking all the time, but go ahead.
I remember we took the air packs off too soon because there was still a lot of smoke there. As long as you could see, you just pull the mask off, but that wasn't a good thing to do.
What were the building materials like then versus today? More wood?
Yeah, wood. There's old pine beaded ceilings and so forth. I mean, they put out a lot of smoke. And I had a guy, he didn't stay long in the fire service, but he told me, come to me one day and he said, this thing's too heavy. I said, well, take it off then. He didn't want to, it was heavy on his back. They weighed 29.5 pounds. Mm-hmm. And I never did wear one much, because I've been told to take them off more than I have put them on. We pulled up at the Gillespie Golf Shop. There was fire everywhere. And I caught the hydrant and run in there and got my air pack. Took an inch and a half and went up there. And I thought I was doing a pretty good job. Chief Divinity come down there. He said, come here. He said, take that thing off and get in there and put the fire out.
Told you to take the air pack off.
Yeah, take it off.
Jimmy, you had something to add.
According to answer a little bit to his question, I don't know for sure, but just to highlight you a little bit of things that go through my mind now. And when I retired in '07, I see so many, well, let me just say, it'd be easy to get a count of people that was on during my time, the number that had came down with prostate cancer. And it's been over a dozen or 2 dozen easily. Young men. Yeah. Young men. Not saying, the medical professionals will actually tell you if you live long enough, every male will probably get it. But it's not like a lung cancer, say, but it's just the way facts are. But it's scary to think, and then the guys that came on after me, I can name half a dozen right now that's been subjected to it. You just hear it, oh, every time you turn around, well, got prostate cancer, got prostate cancer, got prostate. And not only that, but to answer your second part, those sinks in the back of the fire stations are put there for a reason. And the reason for it, to try to help you not take stuff like that to your home. Yeah. You turn out your SP wash more, because all the stuff that Mac's been subjected to, say, or whatever, you can take a shower. That don't mean to say it's not going to go partial home with you. Mm-hmm. And that's something you need to keep an eye out for.
That's a good point.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I worked in a place, you wear it after you die. I worked in the meal section of Greensboro. We had 3 bit proximity, revolution, White Oak. 50% of our calls was in there, to do with the meal and cotton burning. And I've seen some of them old timers try to go in there without it, and they'd be slobbering at the mouth and the eyes watering and looked like they was going to die, but they would not put them on. They call them leather lungs.
Leather lungs.
They don't need it. And they all did soon.
What was your favorite anybody have a favorite station? I know what yours
Yeah.
was. Captain Mack, what was your favorite?
Laurel Street Estates.
Which was? Anybody have station 4?
He was at Station 4, and I was at 11, and he wanted to get back to 11 so badly that he talked to Chief into us swapping places. So I left 11.
Station 7 for 5 years when I first come on. Probably been the best. I liked it.
You like Station 7 the
Yeah,
best?
but I was at Central Station and Station 3 and Station 6. I was in about 8 different stations.
Why'd you like Station 7 the best?
Well, I rode with 4 a lot. And I rode with 14, 3, and about the whole east side of Greensboro. And we knew streets. We didn't have these books to tell us where to go. You had to have it up here.
Anybody else have a favorite station?
And I drove the Chief's car. I drove the Chief's car 5 or 6 years, I don't know.
Well, tell them about Chief. What's the Chief's driver? What does that mean? Like, what'd you do?
Well, when you had battalion chiefs, 2 of them, one on the east side, one on the west side. Then you had the other chief of town, and I drove all 3 of them at different times. So
you take them to the fire and
Chief Reichl and I can't even think of who the other was, but
well, that's fine.
Anyway, talking about Scott's, I was a driver on the truck. A lot of times I went to fires, I was driving and doing the pumping, and I didn't get in on the firefighting that much. I would be operating the truck.
Okay.
Talking about driving for the chief. I drove one night for Marvin Royal. He was at Station 5 with us, and I wasn't used to automatic transmission. And man, I slammed him up against the bar. Yeah, so.
Does anybody remember Chief Parker?
Who?
Parker.
Parker.
Every time
Yeah, I
I had to
remember.
drive him, he wanted to know if a fire occurred at George C. Brown, how would you put it out? Every time. That was his thing.
He worried himself to death.
He did.
Yeah.
What about cooking? What was your favorite meal? Anybody have let's talk about that. How much did it cost per day when you started? Anybody?
$1.
How much?
$1.
$1. Anybody else?
$2, maybe.
$2.
One.
What is it now today?
$10 to $15 per person.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're at a 2-company house, like old 16, 52, 10, wherever like that, right? You have, the budget is $12 per man and that's 2 meals, so lunch and dinner. And at a 2-company house, you can get more ingredients because you'll go there with $96 or so, something like that, to be able to get enough. So it's easy to go under budget when you have 8 people paying into the pot, especially if you have 9 with an extra battalion chief like Station 52 now, because that's where Battalion 3 headquarters is. But I will say at a single company house like Station 40 right now, I mean, it's not uncommon for it to be $13, $14, $15 for 2 meals. Now, yes, it hurts, it adds up when you think about every third day, 10, 11 days a month times $12, $15. I mean, you're budgeting $300-something a month just to eat when you work. But, when you think about the fact of the matter is, like, if you go out to eat somewhere, I mean, you'd be paying the same amount on a single meal, if not more, so, yeah, I'd say anywhere from $10 to $15 a day. I wish it was $2 a day, but that sounds nice.
About that dollar, it was 35 cents for dinner and 65 cents for supper. That was $1.
I wish.
How much is your monthly divvy?
So that also depends on station. The station will kind of collaboratively look at the list of things on the divvy list, and they'll decide, we don't really want that. Some stations are a little more luxurious in what they have to offer. So for us at Station 40, it's $15 a month. But I will say, Maurice Jones, the driver of the engine on A shift, my driver, what's up, Mo? He's got it on lock. I mean, we have sodas, energy drinks, snacks, protein bars, protein shakes. I mean, there's cigars that you can buy from Divvy. There's a lot of good stuff. But there are other places in the city you'll go, and it's just the basic, like napkins, mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard, olive oil, stuff like that. So it depends per station, but I would say there's not a single place in the city that's less than $10 a month right now for monthly dues, your divvy.
All of us have a call or two that stands out in our mind that we won't forget. Can any of you share a good call or a bad call that you won't forget? Give us a call that you had on that you won't forget. You got one, Bob? I see you.
I don't talk about it very much, and I've only told it one time to a group. But I just got on the fire department. I hadn't been on about 6 months. And my sister and her husband, Carter's friend here, was building a house in Pleasant Garden, and they moved into O. Henry Oaks, where I was answering the call. And I didn't even know where they'd moved to because they'd just moved in there. And we got a call to O. Henry Oaks, and when I arrived, I found out it was my sister's house. She had a son about, he's probably 4 or 5 years old, liked to do everything, really smart kid, but if he saw his dad doing something, he was going to do it. And like I said, they just moved in there, and they had a little storehouse on the storage room on the back of the house. And him and his little brother was in the storage building, and they was going to fill the lawnmower with gas because he'd seen his daddy doing that. Poured it out, and when it got full, it ran over and ran up under the gas hot water heater, and they had an explosion, burned him all over, and he lived about 5 days after that. He was burned so bad they wouldn't even take him to the burn center. He stayed here in Greensboro. And I rode in the ambulance with him to the hospital, and that's the worst thing that ever happened to me on a fire call or anything else. And I still remember it, and I think about it a lot. It's been about 50 years ago, and I still think about it.
Richard, you got any call stands out in your mind?
I guess everybody would remember the Davis Street fire. It was the biggest fire we had in, 100 years?
Yeah.
History, yeah.
I don't know if anybody here was on it.
How many here was in the Davis Street fire? Raise your hand.
I was there. I was at Station 5.
Davis Street.
Davis Street fire.
1985, I believe it was.
Davis Street. Yeah.
Davis Street's up to big fire department.
Oh,
Yeah. I remember that.
Richard, do any calls stand out? Anything you remember? Nothing really. Mike?
Oh, yeah, I had several. I think the worst one was on Highway 29 North, before they put up the fencing and stuff. Wayne Welch and I were on the squad, and we were the first one there, and there was a lady, a nurse, that just got off, but it was a dump truck with a trailer come across, hit her, and when we got there, there was no head. It was in the back seat. And you talk about getting sick. Never forget it. It was terrible.
Anybody else got a call?
There's one down on Spur Road, was that 220 South? And Wheeler was driving. It scared me to death getting down there, but I got down there and the woman had hit she was a passenger. She hit the door rail and split her off from the bottom all up to the top. I'll tell you.
There. Let me help you out with my dad. Let me help you out with my dad here.
All right, go ahead.
I think the biggest fire my dad was on was that one down there. I think it was Vic's plant was down there at Wendover and Cridlin. Big white building. Mm-hmm. I think that was the biggest one he was on. I think one thing I remember from that, my dad was off that day, and they called him in to go to that fire and fill in for a little bit. And I remember after that fire, he came back home, and evidently he had walked in front of a fire hose. And his wallet was all soaking wet and all that. But that was a big fire that I remember from.
Another call stands out. I don't know how many remember when the Monitor Terracotta blew up. Well, I was at 10, we went up there on that call. We heard it at the station when it exploded. And we went up there and it looked like a war zone. I mean, everything was demolished. Only thing standing was the smokestack. And after they got all the bodies out of there, they dynamited that smokestack down. It looked just like a war zone.
I think we all got, like I said, we got those calls. I'm not gonna share mine, but, because this is about y'all, but we all got those. And I know sometimes there's places that I went by where it was a bad call. And I know the other day I went by a place and my wife was driving and it brought back memories. I hadn't thought about it in years, but things that trigger us, you know, that we'll see something and it'll flash back to us. What's some of the traditions that you had? Anything, it's station traditions, fire department traditions back then? I know we recently started a memorial service back, remembering our firefighters that passed away, both in line of duty as well as natural. Any traditions you remember from back then, anything?
I'd like to ask him if they still have the daily routines, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Do y'all have that every Monday? Used to be like scrub day, every Tuesday, every Wednesday?
Yeah, so I think it's different per station. They kind of define that. It's not like, I'd say the one that's pretty standard across the department is Mondays, your inventory truck check day, or obviously you're checking your truck every morning, you know what I mean? I went straight from finishing up our morning chores here, but Mondays, your inventory of the truck, inventory your station, inventory your med supplies, stuff like that. But for us at Station 40, like today, Friday is yard day. I'll thank all you gentlemen for allowing me to be here because I think I missed out on yard day. So, woo. But I'd say, yeah, Monday is inventory, Friday is lawn day, Sunday evening, clean out the kitchen, clean out the fridge from all the leftovers that everyone just dumps in and then no one touches for the entire week. So I'd say it's different everywhere. It's like, you know, if I go somewhere else for the day, I'm like, hey, what do we have on the radar today? Is there a specific station duty or whatever that occurs on this day? So I wouldn't say it's uniform across the department. It really is just very dependent on stations and dynamics across the city.
Let's talk about fire chiefs. Mac, how many fire chiefs did you work for at Greensboro? How many?
5.
Who were they?
Chief Warwick, Chief Boucher, Chief
Al. Chief Al.
Sheriff Powell,
Jones?
Burns, no, I ain't working with
Jones?
Jones. He wouldn't let me work with him.
Okay.
Flowers.
Yeah, Flowers. He was the one that caused me not to be able to go to that big fire up there on Davis Street. He wanted me to sit at the station. Me and Eller sat there and watched it, listened to all that all night long. 5 o'clock in the morning, he called me, he said, well, you go home. I said, no, I'm not going home because I got to come back at 8 o'clock.
Zach's got another question or two.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here and thankful to kind of pick your brains and just hear, different stories. And I'm curious, did any of you here at the table experience any injuries on the fire ground, like any burns, aside from the little, the tip of my ears or, my nose, whatever else? Did you guys experience any burns and or injuries that occurred on the fire ground from maybe something falling on you, whatever else? And what happened and what did that recovery and what did it look like after that injury for you guys?
We had a fire on 29 in Death Valley. Car fire, pretty involved. And we pulled the engine up there. I was on engine 4 then. And I pulled the hose off that inch and a half. And the police didn't stop the cars coming down the highway. And I was pulling that off and car mirror hit me in the arm. And of course paralyzed that hand. Richard took me to the hospital. We sit in the hospital for about 3 hours. But I mean, several months afterward, they were drawing stuff out of that elbow and putting cortisone in there. And it finally got all right. But
I remember Glenn Johnson getting electrocuted on the ladder company into the wires. And very lucky he lived.
It's funny enough you mentioned that. My best friend, that's his grandfather. Moose, was that his nickname? Moose?
He just died just a while back.
Yeah, just recently passed. His daughter, my best friend's mother, had told me that story when she knew that I was getting out of Greensboro, and it told me how basically just charged power lines, aerial got too close. Obviously, he was electrocuted, and then performed CPR on scene. To my understanding, correct me, I wasn't there, obviously, and obviously got him back. So that's I have a small personal tie to that story, I guess, and I knew him in his later years before he had passed.
Richard, you said
When I was a 10, we had this huge field fire. And of course, we were there a pretty good while. But a couple of days later, I broke out with poison ivy, or poison oak, whatever it was. My face and head just swelled up. My kids didn't even recognize me. And Chief Wyrick told me to go to the doctor, told the doctor that everything would be taken care of. And the only thing that helped was taking shots. And but I was out of work several days with that poison ivy.
You still have any lingering issues from when that car mirror hit you? Does it still bother you at all? It's all good now?
that's been a long time ago.
I think a lot of us,
You're a young man, wasn't you?
Yeah.
a lot of us have things that played on us in our job, whether it was lifting things or knee problem. I have knee problems, and some people have shoulder problems. There's a lot of things that we lifted and pulled on and did during our careers. It made me think of training a little bit. Pompier ladders. You ever heard of Pompier ladders? Mm-hmm. You got a story? Anybody got a explain what a Pompier ladder is or was. We don't use them anymore, but Richard, you got a story about Pompier?
I'll tell you, may have a good one. I've gotten some.
You talking about the Palm Pier ladder?
Yeah, let's talk about Palm
Since they had them first.
Me and Richard saw this.
Anybody?
We saw this in person. One of the guys in our training class, I don't know, I can't remember his name, but we were doing the Palm Pier, and he looked at somebody going up on the thing. He said, "Oh, hell no." He went and got in his car and left. I don't remember what his name.
Well, we had a wooden palm pier ladder and an aluminum palm pier ladder.
Climb it.
That wooden palm pier ladder was heavy.
Look to the next window, climb it. Next window, you climb it, and there was nothing under the kitchen.
Let's talk about the wooden. When I came through, it was metal, but you had wooden.
Yeah, we had the palm pier on one side of the train tower with a wooden ladder, and Chief Price was a captain then. He was in charge of it, and he'd holler at you and carry on, and that thing would slip about that far, and you thought it done fell on the ground. And then we've gone to the other side with the aluminum palm pier ladder, and it wasn't that bad, but so we didn't have no net out there at that time, and if you fall, you fall.
No safety net.
But
When we were in training, after you climbed up that thing, was it, I don't know if y'all described it or not, it had that single with the steps on either side. But anyway, when we would get to the window and climb in, then we would stay there and hold it, make sure it didn't slide. And I was up, I think it was up about 3 or 4 floors or something. Anyway, this big guy, he was in training, Harold Smith, y'all remember Harold? Old ex-Marine. He came up, and as his head came up in through the window, I could see him, and he was sweating, and he was hugging that thing, and like he barely got off that thing. But I didn't know if he was gonna make it or not. They were scary things.
what do they do with them things? Throw them away?
They've done away with them altogether. Training, they don't use them anymore.
I know.
But those things were scary when if it started twisting with
They
you.
said they were rescue ladders, but how in the world you gonna bring anybody down? We need one here.
We could hang one up here if we had one.
Yeah.
I noticed we ain't got no hydrant wrenches.
I guess that's when you had to be really tough. You're gonna use that palm pier ladder and bring somebody down.
Well, I mean, I call them rescue ladders.
I know, that's what it was about. Central Station. Richard, you spent a lot of time at Central Station.
Oh, yeah.
Well, tell us, you got any stories about, what did you like about Central Station?
Well, we had a bunch of guys, and everybody comes on pretty good. Once in a while, you have a blowout, and somebody gets a little hot. But mainly, it's a good place to work. There's always something going on.
How many poles did they have when you were there? You remember?
Yes, 3.
3. At one time, I think there was 6.
There was 6. There was
One time there
3.
were 6 poles.
Yeah, 3 in the bedroom and then 3 in the other.
Right.
But when the air conditioner cut it down to 3. Jimmy Gwynn would lay up there and shoot people with a water gun.
When they had the 6 holes, they didn't have air conditioning in the station.
Right.
So they had to plug those holes up. So they built a giant piece of plywood, round like the hole was, and made it about that much wider. And the funniest guy on the fire department, one of the smartest, was taking a group around and showing them the station. And one little boy said, "What's these big round things back here in the bedroom?" And out in the next room, they was all still open. That's where we went down the poles to get to the front of the truck instead of the back. Anyway, he says, "What are these big round things?" J.W. Manus is really a storyteller, and he says, "A long time ago, they had horses to pull the steamer, and the horses slid the pole back here, and so when they left, we plugged the hole." The other thing, had a bunch of kids. He liked to take the kids through the fire station, the central stations. Took all the Scott air packs out of one of the trucks, taking 2 or 3 school teachers and a whole gang of kids. And he was telling them about the truck, and he said, he opened that door, and Joe Smith, he only weighed about 130 pounds when he came on. They had him in full uniform, sitting back in there where the Scots were. He opened the door and he said, "This is where we carry a spare firefighter in case we need one." And the teacher said, "What's that?" She said, "That's a real person in there." But I worked with J.W. Bangus for several years. One of the funnest guys you ever worked with, and one of the smartest too. He made you think he wasn't smart, but he really was. And played jokes on everybody and on me mostly. He had a lot of fun. Well, we had fun, but we had fun when we didn't change. When we started doing medical calls, we didn't hardly have any time to do anything. But JW bring his dog to the fire station, and he was a dog trainer. He'd make that dog do anything. And it was just a crazy dog. He got out in the field where wasn't no bloodlines. I asked him one time, I said, "Is he full-blooded?" He said, "He was, but he cut one of his paws and some of it leaked out." And he trained that dog to do everything. And he'd bring me in, if he'd stay in the truck, I'll tell you, he'd stay in the truck. "Okay, come in." He'd let me in the house, fire station, and put a bone in his mouth and say, "Go put that in the truck." Go out there and put it in the truck, and he'd come back and look at it. JW, "What do you want? You want to eat that bone? Go get it." And boy, he'd take off out there and get it. But he come in one day and he told me, he said, "I got Ace in obedience school now." I said, "Obedience school? That dog, he does everything you tell him." He said, "Teaching classes 3 nights a week." Every day we had jokes. I mean, you never know when it's going to hit you.
Larry, tell them about the story of Bull Price that you set me up. Now, back then, we could do about any kind of joke on somebody and not get in trouble.
It's old Station 3, and Bull Price, y'all know how intimidating he could be. And it's one of those days, I think Mike was up in front of the station there with the TV, and we've been talking a lot, a bunch of us in the back, and Mike had went to sleep sitting in a chair, and that was a no-no back in that day, during the day. So Chief Price comes in, and I didn't tell Mike, and Mike had been shouting back to us, I'm quote unquote, "Y'all shut the hell up there, I'm trying to sleep." So he kept saying it, but so Chief Price come in, and he shouted that again, and Chief Price went back there, and Mike, tell him what happened then, after you said that. Well, he went back there, and you said, "What?" And Mike just melted in the seat, because, that back then, the battalion chiefs was God. You know that. What they said was, and he was in.
Who's sleep back there?
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, he was, Mike said, "I am." And not knowing it was the chief, and kind of set him up. Yeah, I did. I didn't tell him the chief was in the house. We were supposed to do that, but anyway, there's a lot of stories here. I know we could go on, and I like it better when we get in. I just had some questions, I've been trying to ask you guys, and I'm glad Zack came. He brought some things now as versus back then. Is there anything else? I really appreciate all of you coming. I know.
Well, I got one in the story. I don't know if you want me to tell it or not, but we were going to Smith Homes one night, or one evening, and we got to Florida and Ramblin' Road, and I had the siren wide open because it had a clutch siren, and my driver stopped. I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "I'm picking my nose."
He's in this room. I ain't gonna go there. You know, and Captain Mack looked at me, he said, I must have been nervous because I just learned to drive. And he was laughing. I said, what are you laughing at, Captain Mack? He said, I've never seen a man drive a fire truck and pick his nose at the same time. And so since then, that's been my...
I stuck with it.
Yes, sir. But
I'm going to tell you a story about Rick. When we were at Fort, we were on the same shift. And he came to work one morning and had a half of a canoe on top of his truck, on his car, whatever he's driving. And I thought, where'd you get this half of a canoe? It had fallen off of somebody's vehicle on the highway and broke in two. He picked it up, and a few days later, he had him a full canoe that he built right there in the station.
And it's coming to the same thing. Maine has had made a part of a canoe on a mold of a canoe. And so he had that fiberglass thing. So I cut that thing in half, folded it together, fiberglassed it all together, and made the other half of that canoe.
Richard, you know, we've got another story I heard about 5 live rabbits you brought to the station to cook.
Yeah.
5 live rabbits. Can you tell us about that? What happened? Do you remember that story? Now, somebody told that on you. I don't know if it's true or not.
You raised rabbits back then.
Yeah, I was raising rabbits, but I didn't know I brought 5.
Well,
Usually
what,
I just
4 or
brought
5, whatever.
2. Anyway, we put them in the oven, and of course we got a fire call, and told the police officer at the scene. I said, "Would you go back to the station and turn the oven off?" Well, he went and turned it off, but he left them in there. So when we finally got back to the station, they were crispy. They were all.
I don't tell you out here forever, y'all. After so long time, we could talk about a lot of things, but is anything else that you guys, before we kind of wrap this up? I had a lot of questions, but you know, we went this way and that way, which was fine. Anything that you thought about, that you want to talk about? I appreciate you coming. Like I said, I wanted to get everybody together, lack of a better word, while we still could.
Best job I ever had.
The what?
Best job I've ever had.
Yeah.
And you didn't worry about dreading to come to work. You couldn't wait to get back.
Do you remember when funeral homes were giving up ambulance services? And they started looking at the fire department to do ambulances. And I think that brought along the squads that we ended up with. And at one time, Chief Powell was wanting to start, he called it a flying crew or something like that. He was going to have 4 guys in a pickup truck. They could get there in a hurry. And of course that didn't pan out. But we did end up getting the squads after the funeral homes gave up the ambulance service.
Well, that Brandy from Charlotte was going to run the ambulance service for a while, and
Yeah.
the driver got drunk and threw somebody out the
It lost it. A patient fell out the back doors.
And that's when Chief Warwick said, "We're going to take it over." And Jim Finnison, you know, he was a head man.
Is anything, like I said, anything else? I appreciate you coming. I hope you had a good time. I mean, got to see old friends again, talk about war stories. I know that the older that firefighters get, the braver we were. You know, kind of, we tell stories. They get bigger sometime. But anything else? I appreciate the other.
Well, that's a picture right there of Engine 414 Ashburn Street. We didn't have air conditions. We had mosquito nets put over our bed because we were ready to winter up. Didn't have screens, just ready to winter up. And that's the station's still down there. 414 Ashburn Street.
What is it now?
I don't know. Gray Farmer bought it and he sold it, and I don't know what it is.
There's one right there at the corner of Benyon Hall and Walker. Station like that.
Okay.
Anybody remember old Station 5?
Yeah.
Walker and Mendenhall? When my wife and I first got married, we lived in a big old house right there on South Mendenhall, 2 blocks from that station. And that old, 30-some model truck, every time he started that thing up, the windows in that old house would rattle. And they come down the street with that old truck and just make the whole house shake.
Tom McCarter said, boys on a bicycle could pass him driving that truck, that's how fast he would go.
Is that the truck they had at the battleground for in the museum?
Yeah, that's the one I think it is.
That was the reserve truck when I came on, and they had it parked out 3. And we got a call one night and jumped in that, it was a 1948 American LaFrance V12. That was the regular car, the regular truck we had. But that was a reserve, and it caught on fire when we started it up. Smoke was coming all out from it. Captain Grogan was one of the older. He said, "Get in the reserve truck." I'm driving. I had pulled that thing out a couple of times in the yard, but I drove it on a fire call, a long ways to back of the WFNY TV in that area. It was making, you didn't need a siren. It made enough noise, everybody looking.
I said, if we can help you, let us know.
Thank you.
Of course, we're 90-some years
Now, I
old.
will say, and you've seen this morning, and y'all know, my bride of 55 years, she helps me a whole lot, and I couldn't pull some things off, and I do if it wasn't for her. She's been I used to do a lot more than I can do now. I got some limitations, but her coming out here this morning with the coffee and she loves the fire department too. So,
We love her.
and we all know about these wives, girlfriends, whatever, and how they have helped us through the years. And we wouldn't be doing where we're at today, wouldn't have been for our wives.
I've been married 72.
72 years.
We're the same one.
72 years? I don't even think I can count that high.
72.
I'm going on 73.
73.
52. Yeah, it's definitely a really interesting thing to try to navigate is having, you know, a woman in your life that supports what you do and understands the sacrifice that come with it. You know, I'm very soon to be proposing to the woman that I'm dating right now. I've been putting my money aside, been looking at rings, this and that, and I'll probably be proposing in the next couple of months myself. And I'm very thankful that, like, she's been one of the young women in my life that understands the sacrifice and supports that and is there to be with me. So it's promising to hear that they'll do it for 70-something years, because I sure hope she's around for 70-something years before we do it.
He got me.
Take it to you guys.